Not for a second. I feel like this is like a 50-50 matchup after what we saw the other day. Really could have gone any which way, and arguably, I think, first two maps, get him out of there. Let's just play a best of one on Nuke this evening. There should be Mindfreak taking Anubis as per the other day, and then Housebets should be taking D2 because they are feeling it over that way.
No pain in the server today for Mindfreak. 4x in there instead.
Oh, you're right.
So who's going to be AWPing is the big question for me. I mean, maybe Tux picks it up. But,
Oh, that's a new one.
Let's go Regali. 2 Regalis.
2 Regalis. Vexite Lee has ins. Got Val, Shady. That was against Semper Fi. Ooh. Interesting approach as to what's going down.
That's right.
But we are back in. Half the teams are dead. And it's going to be crunchy in a 1v3. Plenty of time for Housebets to get this bomber down. And Crunchy will just be respecting the smoke for the moment.
Yeah, tough ask for Crunchy here. He doesn't have a defuse kit to play with. Didn't quite catch if there was one picked up by Mindfreak, but I have to imagine that there's probably not. So he's going to go have a little bit of a look into CT, checking up in heaven as well, but has not found anybody. Regali's back. That's good. Crunchy's got himself a jump and kill on a vision somehow. I just don't see him winning this one, Mac. It's just not possible. There's just no way.
Yeah, just no way.
Just no way.
No way at all. Not a chance. Not a second. Not a defuse going down this time. Crunchy just looking to pad the stats, get a couple of numbers, but he'll fall to the explosion of the C4, and that'll be Housebets taking the T-pistol. So that's a pretty solid start. Let's see if Mindfreak are going to force in on the second. Crunchy straight onto the Deagle, which is afforded thanks to the couple of kills he got right towards the end of the round. We'll see if Texta does the same or if he just wants to focus on that utility game moving into the third.
All right. This is actually a very interesting turn of events with Pain not being in the server today. Piss around being picked up as well on T-side of Anubis here by Housebets. Yeah, I mean, if they win on Anubis and Dust2 is left open, obviously, as their map pick, like, that could be a real problem for Mindfreak. You've not got your primary AWP. It's Dust2. It's the map you just got 13-1'd on a couple of days ago. So I was feeling like, okay, Mindfreak going to come back into the server today and maybe remind us that they are still a team to kind of be contended with. But yeah, you can see the problems starting to kind of pop up here if you sort of like take a long-term view of things.
Where to from here? Mid control's looking pretty damn good for Housebets. And with 3 members coming this way, 2 towards A main, it will just be that A split, deep mid smoke towards the temple side. But Mindfreak ready with the heavier investment on the defense towards this A site. Flash in. Little Poppy. The pistol's going to make this one work. Okay, nice little couple of shots coming through here. Vision will be able to maybe find Tux, forces him into the open, and we're down to the 2v2. A Deagle still in play for both him and Texta, but one of which is gone. Now it's all Texta versus the world.
Yeah. Good recovery from Housebets here, but Texta, Deagle could be scary, won't be in this instance. And that'll be another round 1 for Housebets, so should be off to the races though. Mindfreak, they actually don't invest too much in that round, so they've done quite a lot with quite a little, and they will be able to buy into this one. So pressure's going to be right back on Housebets here in round 3 to just try and maintain the advantage that they've got. Mac 10 for PZ, though, was what he initially had in his hand. Now he's going to go for the Galil. Couple of Galils out, but not the worst thing in the world for Housebets. There's 4 sets of players with only body armor.
Only body armor. Watch it win the round. Don't need helmets around here. We're cool kids. That skull ain't cracking on the concrete. Cairo. Respecting the aggression towards a main. It's just Vision doing it solo, though. It will be... Ooh, a lot of that utility actually bleeding out for the A members, looking to fight this 2v1, and it's a 1-for-1 trade overall. That may eventually favour Housebets, but look at this maneuver. Is that all the way in the water? Yeah, damyo going to be spotting that swing. Forlex playing an incredibly dangerous game in that position. But Texta finding the double will completely turn the round back in Mindfreak's favour.
Yeah, Texas shouldn't really be allowed to get away with two there. Okay, the trade onto damyo is fair enough, but PZ unable to do much about it. And now Texas set up for another 1v1, which he'll win, of course. So sharp. That is very much Texta in a nutshell. You give him those kinds of opportunities, he's going to run away with them. Apokdud just walking past an AK here, not trying to make any sound cues. He's going to take the inferior weapon in for this entry onto A. Crunchy does not have any head armor, so it might not be too big of a deal. Eventually spots him out, and he's just going to try and opt to fake the plant, draw out the peak, which works nicely, continues that spray, but didn't quite land enough onto Crunchy, and so can't even end up getting the bomb plant down. That's a unfortunate round, really, for Mindfreak. For Housebets. It was looking pretty good, actually, until Texta did Texta things.
Seems to be doing that a lot lately. And I'm all here for it, you know? The young, experienced professional, and looking to pass that experience along to a few more members. You'd have to assume that Forlex is just standing in, maybe because it is a Saturday. There are other personal commitments.
Yeah, Payne's out on the town.
Yeah. Hopefully something more serious than that. Tux, showing that he's serious about holding this A site, getting up in the grills of these T's and pumping damage through them. 3 found before falling. His job's already done.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, I'm not necessarily feeling super confident about Housebets' chance of winning on Anubis here, even despite the fact that Mindfreak are playing without Payne. That's a nice kill from Apokdud onto Crunchy, but they're going to need a lot more than that. And Housebets just slowing things down, drawing out those peaks. Apokdud and PZ, they're just standing and delivering, and Mindfreak have peeked into them one by one. Apokdud on a pretty insane line here, just doesn't get the shots over onto Forlex, so he's able to save the day. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Felt like it could have been a one round there from nothing for Housebets, but Mindfreak scraped through it.
And this is kind of the situation they were in the other day, where the money wasn't necessarily the greatest, but the moves they were making were bang on. And again, look, just down to the 2 MP9s, but up against Glocky boys, this should be quite an easy round to navigate through and get into the lead 3-2. From here, though, things may get more difficult. Housebets have a bye on the other side of this one. And you never know, with what, 1 P250 in the mix, couple of bangers, and a whole bunch of boys looking to brawl towards mid. Maybe there's a world where things go wrong real quick. Couple of boinks in there. 1 for 1 and a gun, retrievable. Oh, swing it again. There we go. M4 getting the job done, but the members coming to the party will favour Mindfreak. Swing it together. And the MP9 from Texta will look damn fine for the double and a third round.
Yeah, it's good recovery again. But look, money's still not really ballooning out all that much. So this CT side, the control that Mindfreak have got is tenuous at best. All it really takes is 1 or 2 quick rounds here from Housebets, and they're right back on top. But it doesn't really feel as though Housebets have a great grasp or a great feel on Anubis. They don't seem super comfortable most of the time. It's going to be a quick smoke into E-Box. Mindfreak happy to push out past that. They've got themselves their forward stairs smoke at T-stairs. So a lot of map control being taken by Mindfreak early in this round.
Yeah, just going for the slow default. Trying to feel out any aggression from Mindfreak. On the 3-2 split. 3 heavy towards the B side of things. Playing nice and close up as well. Waiting for a moment to try and pop through, but they may end up just going dry. Yeah, high-low on the swing. Nice coordination. And the T's not ready at all. Drox caught napping, and that's a free pick. CT's fall back. But in the meanwhile, it is going to be a bit of an A-split starting. One player pressuring towards mid. You just just want to live here and draw attention away from A main, where the other three troops are making their way out. Nice little retake on mid, and a two-man advantage should successfully retake on the A side, but we'll see how it goes.
You would think so, but if 4lex drops here, then there is a chance. It's one of the high HP players down. Cairo and Tux both very, very low. Some decent damage done by Apocdad in the middle. Here comes the swing from Crunchy, which is not going to be able to dislodge PZ. He'll swing on the timing and just can't land his shots. It's just down to damyo. They know exactly where he is. And look at all of the damage that's been done to Mindfreak. Housebets, you know, with one more bullet to any of those players pretty much wins this round. But unfortunately, unable to do so. And again, Housebets just looking a little bit switched off in the aim department today, causing them some real problems. You know, like on another day, Apocdad maybe gets one in middle as they're trying to retake his position. PZ wins this duel, and it's a completely different story. That is a round that just falls apart based on individual aim duels.
Yeah. Oof. Got loud in there for a moment. But we're back. Volume 0.4 initiated, and let's see if the guns can keep on kicking loud. Tux with a nice little pop lineup and a faster approach from the CTs towards B main. But with that banger, that may signal to Housebets that this aggression has come through. And they're going to go over the top and straight up the guts. Only Cairo to try and lock down the A site. And it's a faster split this time. Let's see if they can beat the CTs to the punch.
Oh, fast in from Housebets. Does get slowed down a little bit by that grenade, and big problems as Cairo's able to find himself a double. Just doesn't come together for Housebets, and this T side really not looking like it's got too many fangs. It's looking kind of toothless at the moment, Mac. They won the pistol, they won the anti-force buy, but beyond that, it's really been a bit of a nothing half from Housebets so far. damyo, again, continues to kind of be that standout for his team. And that's a nice kill from Vision, keeping damyo alive, who will just go ducking back into main. Both of them have gone back into main. Crunchy's heard that. So he's thinking about pre-rotating. He might actually be able to cut them both off here. They won't be expecting him up on bridge. And damyo's down early, but Vision, oh, he'll fall as well. And, you know, again, it's just another one of these rounds that comes right down to the wire, but Housebets do not seem like they can get them over the line.
Getting close, but close is not enough. And this is, yeah, just giving me dribs and drabs of the other day repeating itself. Whew. Crazy couple of shots, but that's what Mindfreak provide on Anubis, is an overpowering CT side with great protocols all throughout every part of the round. Ooh. Great hands, though. At least that one wasn't dropped. You've really, you know, this conversation about IM 2018, however that started, with, looking at Texta, that's right. It's sent me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah?
I'm looking at all of the European teams that played in this European qualifier for IEM Sydney 2018, and there are some names on some teams that I wasn't even aware of that had played. That being said, bit of action towards B main. Sorry about my ADHD. And Apocdad is gonna lose that one.
I don't know. Housebets really, really struggling on this T side. It's kind of like a warm-up half from them, it feels like. I needed to hit the DMs a little ahead of this game. Tell you what, someone who I always see in the DMs is Tux. I don't know how often you play DM here in Oz, probably not that much nowadays.
Nah, I haven't touched it.
I feel like almost every time I'm in the DM servers or in the retake servers, not always, obviously, but the one player that I see more often than not, that's my point, is Tux. So he's a hard worker. Give him some credit there. Texta, of course, doesn't need a practice because he's just a Chad.
Huge Chad.
Kinda, yeah.
We love to see it. Oh. Did you know that Hunter played on a team called Valiance with a couple of Serbians and a Macedonian dude before he was on G2 with his cousin.
I did not know that.
I didn't either, but I do now. There you go. Did they place in this qual? Oh, they got grouped.
Yeah, good old days when qualifiers used to exist.
Yeah. This is
What a
like,
good
do
qualifier.
you remember Quantum Bellator Fire?
I do remember that name, yep.
Casted them a few times.
Yep.
Boomich on that one before he made his leap to, was it Navi? It was Navi where he,
yeah,
yeah.
would have been Navi.
He was on the good Navi. Gambit had some crazy names. I only went down this rabbit hole because Space Soldiers won the qualifier, but they were the team that got visa gapped. So Legacy had to play in their stead.
I remember that, yeah. And it was, in theory, it should have probably been tainted minds just in terms of relative power of those teams, but Legacy had just beaten them in the IEM Sydney qualifier, I believe. Oh, Tux has got himself a collat with the AWP.
Through over the top? Wait, where? Into Con.
Into E-Box.
Right. Well, is it enough to win the round?
No, apparently not. Maybe. Damyo's found himself a double kill and Drop got one too, so we need a little bit more of that actually from Housebets, thank you very much, and then they might be able to put together a decent T-side, but still got to win this 2-on-2. And Drox was spotted exiting default. Damyo set up here at Plat. Smokes are going through. Flashes out as well from Mindfreak. They're going to start to clear their way into the site. That's a nice insend. Perfect from Tux. But Drox is back in with one more on to Cairo, and Tux is just going to sit this defuse by the looks of things. He knows there's the smoke up. Damyo, the bomb's not planted for him, and he'll win the round. Nice experience from Tux, but he gets himself knifed for his troubles.
Yeah, I guess you'll take that, right?
Yeah. I mean, who cares about giving extra money over to Housebets at this point? Like, they're not using their money very well. They're losing every round anyway. It doesn't matter what they've got. So, may as well give him all the money in the world if it means you get another round.
All right. Aggressive early round from the CTs, peeking in behind that molly. Nice little dink and a nice opening as well. Tux will be the man with the AWP in hand. And it's been looking good. Collateral to kick the last off. Another opening here. You love to see the IGL doing the heavy lifting on a weapon, which, look, he hasn't been known for this particular stick for a long time. But, yeah, everyone else just cracking things open, dealing with the B pump, and Housebets looking very similar to the other day, struggling on the T side.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting the feeling that Anubis is not really their map. You know, it is a map that they play quite a bit of, but you can see that the numbers in terms of their win rate on it are not particularly fantastic. And then watching it out a couple of times as well over the course of this week, it hasn't really filled me with a huge amount of confidence, actually. So just have to take it as it comes. I mean, they've actually beaten some decent teams on it in the past. Like, they have beat Mindfreak on it. I mean, this is wrong though. I'm looking at the HLTV match history, and it says they beat Mindfreak on it on the 1st of May, which was the game that we cast.
Right.
But then in the match history, it shows that they lost on it 13-6, which is what I remember. And then they won Dust2 and then they won Nuke. So something funky's gone on there.
Wait, where's this? This is on the recent history.
Yeah, so if you go into the map history.
Map history.
For Housebets, it says they beat Mindfreak 13-9. Oh, that's Nuke. Never mind, I've clicked on Nuke. Yeah. No wonder.
I was saying that ain't there for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Skill issue. It's okay, guys. But let's see if they're going to be able to make their way straight through this utility. Molly's burning out everywhere, but the CT is going to be able to find safer havens to fight from. A couple of shots coming through. Forlex just barely gaining this sight back to find one before falling to send it back to the 2v2. Bomb still down and yet to be planted. Plenty of time for the CTs to posture for a retake. Unless they decide to flood instead.
They've lost it, bro. They've lost it. There's just no way. Like, you have to be winning this round as house bets, and it's on to Apoc Dud now solo to do that. He's kind of set it up nicely, but Tuck's thinking about walking through this smoke. Oh, the barrel hasn't been spotted. Apoc Dud's going to go for the bomb plant. Tux has absolutely swindled him.
Hang on.
Ooh, or has he? He's having a look. The shot connects, and Tux does it again. Another 1v1 will go his way.
Insane.
9 and 2, and Housebets just cannot get anything going on this T side, which is really bad. T side of Anubis, you need to be getting rounds, and they're just not. So it's looking like they're again going to be going into map 2 with a massive loss on Anubis.
Well, like at that point, right? Old mate, I think it was PZ, had to realize that the only place he could die from at that point was Heaven or an A main flank. And I think, okay, well, he's probably A main, but he wasn't. It was Heaven. Could have maybe planted safer or for Apoc Dud. But look, it's all the little minute things. The man that needed to cover him, unfortunately, couldn't from where he was. There was smoke in the way, and now we can see a faster approach. Housebets going straight into B, hoping that the rush may be what they're looking for. Forlex still here on the back of site. They know he's in the vicinity. And that util going to be pumped towards him, but that first CT smoke had an awkward gap. Molly just walked into, and Forlex now down to half. They know that he is hanging around, but they still have some space here. Kyra, in the meanwhile, going to be able to come quickly in from Con. And now in the 2v2, things getting incredibly awkward. Forlex crack on the smoke, and they know his position. So Housebets, they're just going to slow this down and look to fight until the pick is found, and there it is.
All right. Is this it? At the 11th hour, at the last round of the half, can Housebets finally get something done? Get themselves up to 3 on the T side. Man, it will not give me any confidence at all that they're going to be able to do much in this map, but it'll be something at least. Nice little test here for Cairo. Newest player into the Mindfreak outfit. Maybe one of the newest players into the Oz competitive scene as well, actually. When we think about it like that, he's just been elevated out of nowhere. See if he can clutch this one out. Gets the smoke in on the bomb. I mean, he almost has to just sit the defuse there to try to win the round that way, because there's no other way he's going to get that done. Now he's going to get on it, but will be stabbed in the face by Apoc Dud. And so that'll be the first half done and dusted. It's a bit of misery, really, for Housebets. But Mindfreak are happy. 9-3. Here we are back into the second half. It's map number 1 in a must-win for both Housebets and Mindfreak. An elimination game down in the lower bracket final. Mindfreak starting off very, very well, and this game is kind of going the same way as their opening match in the playoffs. Both Housebets and Mindfreak having had the opportunity to play against each other already. And map 1 went the way of Mindfreak. It was Anubis. It was 13 to 6, 16 to 3 was what I was going to say, 13 to 6 actually. So pretty comfortable victory for Mindfreak, and it feels as though we're kind of headed in that direction once again. But it was the back end of this series that was more the problem for Mindfreak rather than the front end. So I'm not really prepared to count my chickens just yet.
I'm loving this slow crunch towards water. If Cairo gets caught, things will get really awkward before Mindfreak. In comes that utility. Ugh, Drox missed opportunity. But there's only one man there. And he's going to go back towards the A site where all this util's coming instead. Flash across the top. And now they know that it's going to be A they have to worry about. Big flank from PZ. Gives them the numbers game. And from here, can they gain any extra advantage? A flash has been received, forces them off the line, and it's going to be lovely trades for Housebets. We'll see if they can make this one a reality crunchy 1v4 to try to clutch, and he's nowhere near this. Dropping off the bridge, going on a big lurk of his own, and picking up that gun. Surely the CTs know now they're on that defuse. The cover is damn good. Drox peeking on the closer man's contact. You love to see it, and that's going to be Housebets not allowing the game to get out of their grasp at the moment.
I mean, that's a big statement though, Mac. Do you not think that they've already let this game get out of their grasp?
On paper, of course, but hey, look, winning the pistol gives you confidence and gives you a chance at pulling a similar half to what Mindfreak just had.
Yeah. Look, I will kind of agree with you in sentiment that that is the one way that Housebets could somehow maintain some semblance of control over this map. They get the pistol in the second half. If you can get yourself off to a good start here, you know, and very quickly close that gap to sort of 7, 8, 9 with a decent CT economy, I think you can start to then make a bit of an argument for Housebets to maybe find a way to win this map. But obviously all signs are still pointing towards a Mindfreak victory, and they've elected to force buy into this round. So we'll have to see how that's going to start off. Damyo getting a little bit of early information there. A bit of damage onto Crunchy as well. B-side hit from Mindfreak. They don't have a lot to work with. 1 smoke, 1 flash, 1 Molotov, 1 nade. That's all that they've got. So unless this is a perfectly placed molly and it maybe digs out that boost or forces Damyo out of his position, I don't think that Mindfreak are going to be able to make this one happen. The flash coverage will certainly not be very good. E-box control maintained for Housebets for now. Cairo picking the pace up, and he gets only the 1. The site is starting to fall, and Drox will have to fall back to save the outside of E-box.
Swinging. Vision going to be able to find himself that quick old double. Texta and Forlex deleted. APOC done as well. Going to be able to find one more. And not too much damage done to the CT economy, which, look, arguably when you get the round loss bonus going, when you get that plant there, sometimes you'd think about going for another force in the next as Mindfreak. You look at the money, they can get a Galil buy, they can go for the Mac 10s, but knowing that they've only got those 2 picks in this round, I don't think they're going to go all in. It might just be the upgraded pistols, the softer approach, and look to play for the future here.
All right. I'm not believing yet, but I'm not believing. You know, I'm not saying I'm not believing, which is probably better than what the alternative would have normally been for Housebets, or at least the expectation. APOC Dud's going to go straight over the bridge into window and get the kill onto Texta, who was not expecting those kinds of shenanigans. So Housebets are up to something. I mean, APOC Dud is just on a mission. He's all over the place, looking for fights everywhere.
Someone's got to bring back the biff. That's what I say. Oh. Damyo. Shafting a couple of shots in through that smoke. Deagle bullets sent back the other direction, but they will not connect enough for a pick. And Mindfreak looking to stick it straight down mid this time. The regroup is heard by Damyo and communicated. Vision slowly but surely trying to make his way towards the top of mid. PZ in between a rock and a hard play. Splash forward. Player coming towards Heaven that he is not aware of. Will fight, will flick, but won't be able to find the other 2. but still has Apocdad here buying a whole bunch of time, saying, boys, come on, help me, please. And they will eventually draw the attention away from him to allow him to get the final blow. Beautifully played by Housebets to keep 4 alive up against the Pistols.
That's what you want to be seeing. I don't know if that specifically is what I want to be seeing, but I think in the circumstance, it's all good from Apocdad. This next round, though, going to be the big one. This will be the big deciding factor as to whether or not this is really going to feel doable for Housebets. Because so far, it's been wishy-washy buys, forced buys, half buys, this kind of stuff for Mindfreak that Housebets have been able to swat aside. But this is the first real proper gun round that we're going to get to see at the half. And if Housebets can get through this one cleanly, that will go a long way in starting to convince me.
And you're a hard man to convince. I'll try to convince you of many things, and you've never just agreed with me and said, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that, Mac. Why is that? Why do you hate me?
I guess I just don't trust your judgment. You asked. PZ.
Unbelievable.
His judgment might not have been on point there either, but Drox's not so bad at all. The timing perfect into middle, and he catches even Texta off guard, so collects himself an AK. Unfortunately, he's forgotten that there could be another player on bridge, and Crunchy will bring it back into the 3-on-2. Wrap in from behind, though, from damyo will secure himself a kill. Vision here, if he gets one more. Could turn this round back on its head. Eventually, Crunchy just standing, taking that fight. It would be backed up by Tux eventually. We'll put it into the 1-on-2 here for damyo. So even if Housebets do get through this round, it has not been by any means clean.
Save time, I guess. Unless he's going to go for... No. Just the save. Keep the AWP alive for the next. Looking at the cash money. This thing will allow them to have a full old buy in the next. And Mindfreak should be happy to waltz into the double digits. 10-6, the scoreline after this. And I can't believe you don't trust my judgment. That's ridiculous, honestly. Do you trust my nutritional advice?
Yeah, probably.
Do you trust my food recommendations?
Well, that would be kind of the same thing.
No. Like if I said, yeah, this place is really good. Not healthy, but good.
I would trust it, but I probably wouldn't go to it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it depends on what it is.
Just not that kind of guy. But like, I would trust you if you told me how to do an exercise in the gym or what's a good food to eat that's going to be good for me.
Or a good way to warm up in Counter-Strike or to throw this utility.
Yeah.
You'd trust that?
Yeah, but I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you.
If I said, yo, we should all do handstands until you can walk the furthest on broadcast, you would say, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's probably not it.
Okay.
PZ started nicely in this round. Went down early last round, so that's a good one to make amends. Back to the 5-on-4 here for Mindfreak. Housebets definitely need a clean round here to, again, maintain some economic control.
Yep.
And damyo in a good position to get a kill here on a Tux, who should neglect to check this corner. Smoke not quite going to cover Tux for long, but Cairo has slipped his way into E-box as well. Damyo not able to get too much more damage done, but at least we'll get the information. And a molly will seal Cairo into E-box for now.
Well, utility goes awry. Doesn't filter out the back of sight fully, but the second attempt will. However, Cairo walks straight into the crosshairs of PZ, who is still here, still kicking. As Drox will fall. You've now got a man advantage for Housebets to posture for the retake, but they're going to come from three different approaches. Fast flank from Apocdad connects perfectly, as does Vision, denying the plant, denying the cross, and denying a chance for Mindfreak to further that lead. So Housebets, they are feeling it. They are looking much more confident than what we saw from them on the CT side the other day on Anubis.
Yeah, actually, contrary to that, it's not so much that it even denies Mindfreak the opportunity to increase the lead. It actually allows Housebets here to diminish the lead somewhat.
Yeah.
Have to see what the buy is going to end up being from Mindfreak, but yeah, as expected, it will be just sort of a bit of pistol and armor. They have enough to buy into the next round, but this is going to close the gap to 2, or it should close the gap to 2. So it is slowly but surely pulling back in the direction of Housebets at the moment. That, though, an awkward one from Drox will have to be traded down by damyo, and it kind of leaves him with a lot to do. He's got to keep an eye on main, he's got to keep an eye on E-Box, he's got his mate there, PZ, I think it is, just to try to help him out, but that orb shop has not connected. Luckily, damyo's hitting everything. USP, M4, doesn't matter, as long as it's silenced. He is silencing heads, and Mindfreak will not be able to pick that round up, and they won't be able to do too much damage to Housebets' economy either.
damyo, acing it up, just dealing with all that aggression. And arguably, what was that, 2? Was it 3 with the USP in the end? I think it was.
It was two or three, 2 at least.
It was 3, because he got that long one over towards main, the initial one where he ran out of bullets here, and then the final one. Love to see that. He was like, I'm going to reload. Then he's like, no, actually, I'm not. I'm just going to shoot him with this thing. Love that.
Fair enough.
Playing a great brand of Counter-Strike, and they're going to be going aggressive again. Lovely flash to enable the double peek, and it's a 2-for-1 trade. CT's favoured. Crunchy, though, won't go down without a fight. And Apoc thought that he could hold against the relentless aggression of the Crunchman. Down to prog utility, Crunchy's going to continue to try and create some more space. Bomb not too far behind him, and Texta lurking up mid with a big pick on the damyo, but it's answered instantly by PZ.
That's an important kill. Surely they're not going to still commit to A here. Drox is not expecting so. He's definitely not going to be watching that smoke. So Texta's going to be able to get the freebie, and PZ's already over to B. Housebets overthinking that one. Is PZ going to go for this? Oh, maybe now he will. Tux will go down easily. Texta, last spotted in this exact position that PZ's holding.
Oh,
Incend would be huge here if he tosses that into CT. He's got to do something soon. Incend into CT. Defuse the bomb right here.
Smoke.
He could actually get it done. He could 100% get this one done. Just going to sit the defuse. And that's a very awkward position for Texta, I think, as well. Made into the smoke, but it's too late. And a cheeky one. A dub for PZ and a dub for Housebets, though it costs them a lot. Their money is still in a reasonable position. This is starting to now feel really winnable for Housebets.
the theory was good, but that incendiary just buying the extra second or so needed to fully wrangle the defuse. Love to see it if you're a Housebets fan. 1v2, lovely out of PZ. Bring that confidence back up. But again, it's a costly one. All CTs falling. They do have a little coffer of money saved up from the previous rounds, but they're one round away from tying things up here. What are they going to change? Texta at least able to save the AWP for himself. Where's his spawn? All right, he's got that front one. T-stairs is where he's heading, I'd say. We'll see if he can get that initial pick, and if it's towards A or if it's towards E-Box. E-Box seems to be the play. damyo flashing, but the shot doesn't come through. Flash too good, and damyo tearing him a new one.
I don't know how damyo gets away with that one. Double kill from him from E-Box is illegal. It's a good trade from Cairo in the end, but the damage is already done, as Mindfreak are trying to make individual plays happen elsewhere on the map. Forlex has done just that. Walked in through the main smoke and gets himself a nice two-man spray down. Takes control of B. Once again, this round hanging in the balance. Housebets don't seem to be getting through these rounds easily. There is a smoke in E-Box that will allow Vision to take some space. Doubled up in E-Box. I don't know that Vision's necessarily going to be expecting Forlex to be playing in that smoke, but it will fade favorably for him. And he'll be able to get the info here, if not the kill onto Cairo. And in the end, a comfortable round again, although it didn't feel like it for a while.
Lovely little retake. A wavy round, back and forth it goes. But they get it done again. And now, Elf Boy, we have a series on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that that's the case if you're a Housebets fan. They will be feeling really good about this, knowing what happened on Dust2 last time. Mindfreak, if they lose this map, is that just their series and also their season over? Could well be the case. But in saying that, they've felt kind of close to picking up a couple of these rounds on the T side that just haven't gone their way. Same kind of deal as what we saw for Housebets. Damyo down early on in the piece as well is a massive firepower differential in this round. He's 24 and 16. So without Damyo, can Housebets find a way to hold on to this A-bomb site? Oh, the flash is such a great one. As Apoc Dud will help out Vision for 2. And that brings the numbers back, 3 on 3.
I've been enjoying Vision on this roster. I need to throw that one out there while I can. But yeah, for now, Apoc Dud, the lineup was there, but Crunchy on the repeat will find the trade that he desperately needed. PZ 1v2. We've been in this scenario before. Let's see if he can pull it off again.
Yeah, I'm not loving it this time, though. He doesn't have the money really to be going for this. He can't afford the ult next round. And Housebets will be... are they on 1900 loss bonus? I think they have a 0 loss bonus. So even with a saved AWP here, Buy's not going to be looking too crash hot at all.
Honestly,
it is benefited somewhat by the fact that PZ's got a full belter util, so he can at least drop a gun.
I'm looking at Mindfreak's economy as well, though. If PZ's able just to manage to snag an exit, which I think he's going to be going for, throwing that flash towards Beach and then going for the full rotation over to here. If he can get that pick, if he can find Crunchy, no, gentleman's agreement, no one overextends in either regard. But yeah, if Housebets force in here, if they have a good read on Mindfreak's economy and win this round, that'll win them the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as bad of a buy as what it could have been, right? You get 2 M4s out. You have the AWP save through from the last round. Plenty of util across the board. MP9s, you know, you can find uses for them on a map like Anubis. E-Box is a great position. Up close by B main at the pillar. There's a lot of sort of tight angles that those MP9s can really be useful on.
Yeah.
And you're right about Mindfreak's money.
Extinguished at mid. Apoc Dud able to play in front of it, just peeks mid, sees nothing, and that's going to allow them to go for a sneaky cheat on the rotation. But it's all about where Apoc Dud wants to go. He's got a nade, he's got a flash, and he's bringing them towards the B site just in time. But there is still 2 lurking members from Mindfreak, so I'm not sold that it is going to be this B hit.
Tuck's missing his shot. Gets out okay.
Oh, and that was the bomb shown to the CTs as well, which may incentivize them to hang around here at B.
Honestly, might not be a bad call for them to do so, because Mindfreak, even though it looked like they were moving away from B, have decided to come back. Now, issue for Mindfreak here is going to be that PZ's on a pretty aggressive line in A main, and he hasn't seen anything. So these B players are not going to be moving at all.
Oh, good molly.
Great molly. Drox, though, needs to win this duel, and does, and that'll keep those riflers a little bit healthier, though Damyo will still fall to 4x. Apoc Dud will be forced out of position by that insend, and just fights across the board, going the way of Mindfreak. It was a desperate attempt from Housebets, but they may just end up losing this map.
That setup was so nice. Incendiary, able to try and stop that pop out of Con, but the boost, unfortunately, just didn't find the effectiveness that they were looking for. Oh, he's going to be made on the hunt through Con now. And Mindfreak, they want to keep as many of these rifles alive, so Tux has completely left the vicinity. All the way deep in T-spawn, the other 2 hanging around, making sure that they're going to be right as rain for a 12th round secured. A couple of map points to be played for. 1 needed for Mindfreak, 2 needed for Housebets to even think about OT. And there is no money at all. Look at that. 2,400 loss bonus. And they fully invested in the previous. So this is MP9 City, maybe even just 5-7s or Deegs for a couple. Because you want that utility. You want to be able to block, or you're going to suffer a mid-round pump like they did in the previous from Mindfreak.
Yeah, it's very tough from here for Housebets, especially with a buy like this one. Going to take a bit of a risk and gamble 4 players toward the B bomb site. Anticipating some aggression over there from Mindfreak early. But Mindfreak are happy to set up default in this round. They know that they've got the advantage. They know that as long as they don't kind of screw this round up, they should be winning this map 13-10.
Oof.
1 for
3-man dry swing out towards B main.
They've dropped the bomb. Don't know if that's been spotted. Maybe it was spotted for a second there by Housebets, but everyone's going to go back into their allocated positions, and so the round will continue as normal.
Cheeky rotation from one of the MP9s. That's going to be Drox to strengthen the A site, but the bomb's still hanging around towards B main for Mindfreak, as well as 2 more men.
That's a nice smoke. It's a nice molly as well. This is a good fake on the A bomb site. You've got 3 players in middle from Housebets, and they are convinced. They are definitely convinced that this is going to be an A hit. They're clearing out middle now. PZ's not seeing anything on A, but that information is coming through a little bit too little too late because Mindfreak are already edging their way out onto B. And Texta has taken so much space. Damyo. Awkward.
Oh.
Will turn around, but just in time to sort of look death in the face. Back to 3-on-3, and there is a bit of a progression coming through from CT Spawn. How has that bomb been denied? Apoc Dart has just pulled out a miracle.
What? I don't understand. He's been no. I don't think it was right in the corner.
Yeah.
They must have been slightly in the open, and they've somehow lined up in the meanwhile, and it's a Housebets round. Out of bloody nowhere. I want to see this again.
Yeah, we have to see this on the replay.
The smoke must have fainted.
I don't know that it did. I think he just spammed through the smoke.
That was catastrophic.
What have we got here? Okay, this one, all good.
This next one. No. The next one. No. The other next one. Don't you dare. There we go. Oh. Yeah, okay. Through the smoke, the lineup somehow found the
second
double.
guy was in E-Box, bro.
That was insane.
Well, Housebets, once again, in with a chance. It felt like a snowball's chance in hell going into the second half here, but they have definitely made something of this. One more round, and again, it starts to get real for Housebets, but Mindfreak still have the opportunity to close it out here, and now Damyo continues to have impact. 25 kills for him on the map now. Head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. Nobody even close. Crunchy and Texta go bang bang for Mindfreak, and we're right back into a 3-on-4. It was a good start for Housebets, but the round slipping away from them now, particularly if Crunchy checks Damyo's position, but Damyo heard Crunchy, and so he'll get his kill back. Now at 3-on-3, and eyes on vision. He's not going to be able to do anything. Bomb plant going down. It is still a Mindfreak favored round.
Such a rough angle to fight from at the back of Cake there. Damyo, though, feeling it this game, looking for at least a 27th kill, if not more. Incendiary will be fought in. Cairo gives his life for the cause, but he barely survives getting out of the flames in time, and Drox now 1v2 angle. No read on Texta's position, is fully focused on Cairo, who'll swing with the contact. Nade, though, has come from Con, and Drox knows to happen again. Wins it with a kit. We are going to OT.
How has he won that? That was the most cooked clutch. Obviously, he sees that grenade come across. He thinks it's going to be a flash, turns away from it, still manages to win the fight onto Cairo, and then the swing in onto Texta, which you'd think should not have gone his way, does in the end, and Housebets force us through to overtime. It's been a valiant effort from Housebets. I appreciate their sticking power and their tenacity, but man, has it been, I would say at times lucky, at times messy. Both teams just letting a couple of these rounds slip, which you really wouldn't have wanted to, but Drox, I mean, you could tell he was panicking there. How many times did he tap the bomb in, he tapped the bomb like 2 or 3 times in about a second. Yeah. Meanwhile, Texas just full swinging him from cams, but gets it done in the end, so here we are. Everyone taking a tack time out to calm down. That's probably what this is.
Yeah, I think it was necessary. Maybe even also just like a tilt tactical as well. Because Mindfreak, you better believe that they are going to be very unhappy with those two last rounds of regulation. Lordy. This is going to test the mental resilience from every individual on that team. Because now they got to do it again. And they're starting on the T side, which arguably should be the strong side, but both teams just having spectacular CT sides. Heavy presence from the CTs here at mid, but Tux is going to tear the first man down. Not quite the second, but the trade is good from Cairo. Texta's ready for this Canals aggression.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this round's going to go too nicely for Housebets.
Unless
Drox, once again, apparently exists. Starting to home in on Damyo's KD. He's thinking maybe it's my turn to be at the top.
Okay, Molly gives away Mindfreak's master plan. And Forlex getting the plant for A main this time. Not quite as open as you may have liked, but the double man setup is going to be strong. It's just about how the CTs stagger this re-aggression in from water, in from wood. And who is going first? Who is going to be the trade man? Vision low, and with Drox not falling, we'll be able to find the first. Forlex expecting the second. And it's a lovely heads-up play from Forlex to continue to watch that flank. I don't know if they did see the second man, but he was all in, invested.
Unfortunate for Housebets. Losing that first round puts a lot of pressure on them here to win this one. PZ, you can see down to $300. So money will start to get a little tight. Well done though from Forlex. Great trade. And a better second kill. So 13 to 12. Mindfreak keep their noses in front. It's been Housebets playing catch-up this entire time. Big old spray from Damyo. Tough to wrangle that one with an A1S. Does well enough to get himself one. Is traded back down by Drox, who seems to have really just come online in the later stages of this map. Trades just back and forth. Tux has got one. He's been taken down by Vision. You're right, the bomb's been dropped. Vision on the push alone. This feels a little bit illegal, but he's got it done. He's got the kill on the Cairo. And that leaves Crunchy in the 1-on-2. He does not know PZ's going to be close. You're definitely not expecting another player there. So, easy one. Pretty routine in the end for Housebets. It'll shore up the money. They're feeling comfortable. They can have a really good crack at this second round in the first half of OT.
Heads up rotations after the C4 was spotted. PZ happy to leave A and edge towards middle, making sure it's more of a trade and more of a lockdown towards the package, the objective. Of course, some teams, they just kind of throw the objective to the wayside and look for kills and give things up and try and cheat some timings. But let's see where we end up now into the final round of OT number one, half one. Forlex, oh, he is spotted going to the corner, and that's rough. CT's not quite investing any utility to try to force him out. They're worried there's going to be more T's around the corner, and yes, they should be. Maybe Shadows here, and it's a lovely clearance from the T's.
Well, back to 3-on-3. So, still not the most concerning for Housebets, but I kind of just want to see Housebets like actually take the lead here and how that is going to impact the game. Because it feels like Mindfreak have kind of just been hanging on to this lead for the longest of times, but
yeah,
if they actually lose the lead, is that like the breaking point of this game? Is that the straw that breaks the camel's back? CT side was favorable for the teams in OT, sorry, in regulation. Housebets might be looking for that 14th here to feel comfortable. Tux taking a lot of damage from that molly. There's a nade for PZ as well, and if that gets tossed into E-box or even onto default, doesn't actually tag them up as much as I thought that it might. Damyo looking to clear things out. There's one more, two more in E-box. There's no more for Housebets. That's 2-1 in the first half of OT. Mindfreak still holding the lead.
All right, two more on the CT side needed for Mindfreak to lock in Anubis. 3 in a row for Housebets on the T side, which really didn't go well for them in regulation. Difference is, this time they can buy every round as long as they worry about the financials, toss across the AWP from a couple of members if they want to go that route. But the route that they're going this time is less of a default. Heavier presence towards A, but the CT's thinking the same damn thing. Cairo, ooh, dry, barely dodging that molly and flash combo. Not going to get caught out, but in the meanwhile, Tux as well has been tagged down to 12. So Bogdan's Law comes in to full effect. Actually, I think he already had the AWP. But either way, 3-2 split going to be held. Mindfreak staying more passive now, given the con control, but that's worked out well. Drox cheating through the lurk smoke is going to be caught by Texta, and that's the man advantage. Mindfreak hunting for 15.
Tuck's very low, though. And might just go down to Vision here. I mean, does look like it's just going to be a contact play. I'm not seeing the flashes being lined up for this line. Vision will bait out the shot. Obviously, Tuck's pretty itchy on the trigger finger there when he's only on 12 HP, so you can't really blame him for that. Gets the shot across, backs up to another safer line. Here come the flashes now for Housebets, and they're trying to scale their way onto the bomb site, but they're somewhat held at bay by this CT smoke. Apoc Dud will grab himself a kill onto Tux, and they're going to go for an early plant attempt. That works out nicely, and that they at least get the plant down, but losing members in the meanwhile. Mindfreak are going to be able to push their way back in unless Apoc Dud has something to say about it. One kill already, lining up for the second. That headshot goes through, and PZ, he just needs to help Apoc Dud out here, because Apoc Dud, it seems like he's getting everything done. PZ, though, the one in the clutch, tasked with it here against Cairo, trying to bait out the shots, and I think it's going to go the way of Mindfreak once again. Cairo just dancing around that pillar, knew what he needed to do, and PZ didn't feel like he could free enough space up to get the job done. So, again, is going to have to be a real uphill battle for Housebets to try to win this one.
Just that missed opportunity once or even twice from PZ in the 1v1. Incredible shots out of Apoc Dud, but again, that HE just forcing him to swing wide. And seconds in it in the end. Cairo getting the AWP back in hand, and Mindfreak just need one more. Housebets, where they going? Bomb. Just chilling towards the top of mid. No mid pressure from Housebets this time. You know, we did see a lot of that during regulation. They'd try to go for that boost over the smoke, get eyes on, and try and sneak Apoc Dud over towards doors. But this time it's going to be Tux being sneaky, aggressive through the smokes of their own. And that'll be an opening again. Damyo denied a chance at 30 kills unless everyone else can lift and find a 14th for Housebets.
It's very possible that two-player setup on B at the moment is looking a little bit of a weaker hold. But there's no presence from Housebets really toward B outside of Drox, just keeping an eye on the push for main. Do you get the sense, though, that B is where they're going to end up? And in the meanwhile, you know, the window is kind of closing here. Mindfreak, they only had 2 players on B. They didn't really have too much going on in terms of a rotation over in that direction. 1 player just watching mid and 2 on A. But now they've cleared out middle. They're rotating an extra player over toward B. And when this ultimately ends up being a B hit, this looks like a very bad time for it for Housebets, because look, there's counter util coming out for Mindfreak. There's a fast flank as well, which has actually been watched by PZ. That's a crucial kill. Housebets are still in with a chance, but they've got to get past 3 players now. As Tux is even still a little bit involved from that line down toward E-box, but plan in. Housebets have done a good job. They've played it slow, they've played it steady, and they've gotten the plant. They've gotten out of the site as well for a post-plant quite safely, and it's somehow ended up in a 4-on-2.
Creep in. They heard many numbers heading in towards E-box. Vision going to be trying to take point, and again, Apoc Dud tucked in the corner is good for the trade, and 14 will be secured. Housebets one more to push it into double OT. Never really getting the opportunity to play for the win, but they're always chasing, and that seems to be where they feel comfortable. As hard as that is to believe.
1 round away from OT number 2. Feels very much like a game that probably should be going to OT number 2, but Tux has been impactful with his AWP in overtime. And again, it's damyo that will go down. So you highlighted that he'll be missing out on the 30 unless everyone else can lift. And once again, that is going to have to be the case. as he's taken out of this round early on in the piece. And a B finish for Housebets seems like it's what's on the cards one more time. Maybe they just slow things down here a little bit and see if PZ can find a pick. He's had a crack, missed the shot. Falling away from Housebets slowly but surely. Drops down to 13 HP. Here comes the swing. Nice entry from Vision. Can't go any further. The Molotov licking at his feet. There's another one that's going to come through and slow things down again. But time not a huge factor, and PZ on the tight line is going to be able to pick up Texta. There's a fast flank coming through from Cairo, but he is smoked off in Canal, so he won't have too much of an impact. It's Crunchy that needs to hold the site, and he's unable to do so. PZ watching. And 15-15 will be the scoreline as we go OT2.
Whew. They're going to need it to try to differentiate who needs this more, who wants this more, and who even deserves it at this point. It's just some solid shots like Damyo, who has been carrying heavy, finally able to rely on Housebets 2 times, bringing it back in the 4v5 to push us into double OT. Like, that is resilience at its finest. Mindfreak will get another shot to do it on the CT side, and we've got a quick old technical, tactical. Who knows what kind of pause we've got here, but it's a fun one nonetheless. I think everyone needed a breather for that. Oh, Jordan, are you comfortable in your seat?
I'm not lounging. I'll put it that way. I'm actually kind of locked in. You know, like I'm leaning forward.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really kind of, but I'm lounging now because it's a mouse issue. So there'll be a little bit of a pause here. We can relax. Do I sound different now that I'm lounging? Do I sound more relaxed?
Maybe a bit further. You sound maybe further away from the mic. Did you bring it with you?
I brought it with me, yeah. But I'm kind of like talking into it from a different angle.
It's whatever, mate.
Yeah, the old microphone arm, that's one of the greatest inventions in the world.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I've gone back to this headset mic recently, so I can do whatever I want. I can walk around, I can do twirly birds, you know. I can do handstands and still cast and it sound the same because the mic is kind of locked in the position.
Comes with you.
It's been nice, yeah. Not having to think about where the mic arm goes, but yes, mic arms are a useful tool. We do have a couple of individuals, though, who don't have the best audio dynamics in their rooms. So, mate, I think you're sorted. You got nothing to worry about.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking, like, if I should get, like, a wireless headset or something like that, because I feel like that's like, the next upgrade that I need.
Not for broadcast? Yeah, I got one. I can point you in the right direction to... I actually have a spare, even, over in Malta. I didn't bring it with me. I wish you told me, because I could have given you just the one that I've been using while you're in Melbourne.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well. But yeah, I'll point you in the right direction. They're good. I won't drop it here, but you've probably all seen me wearing it. And yeah, I highly recommend said headset. It's got good range, got good audio quality, and most wireless headsets have the main problem of the microphone being very low quality, like radio-esque.
Yeah, but I won't use that anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. That's true. And the one I'll recommend, you can take the mic out so it's not just hanging around.
I like that. I'm a big fan of that. Can't do that on my current headset. I've just got a little silly microphone poking out my head.
Run you through full test once I get back to Malta, just for you, all right? Yeah. Personalised experience on both the headsets, so you can think about what you like better. But that being said, no more technical issues. The mice, the mouses, the meese even, seem to be charged, seem to be working again, and we are live with OT number 2.
Again, I will reiterate that I'm kind of just waiting for that moment where Housebets actually takes the lead. Will it be here, or will they continue to fight from behind? Well, Vision seems determined to give them an advantage to start off this half. He has given them an advantage in this round. 5-on-4 will ensue, and they are going to walk their way through the smoke. The flashes don't quite connect onto Tux, and the spacing not there for the trade. So, we're right back into the 4-on-4. But Damyo taking space for Housebets. There's a fast rotate over towards B as well. If they just go charging their way into B, they're going to get that site for free. They seem to know it as well. It's a good read from Housebets. Should be a quick and easy bomb plant. Nice and open as well. It's going to take some retaking for Mindfreak.
Smoke on the choke. Drox missed opportunity, but the info is there. However, he's not aware of Texta's position, but he'll find that in just a moment. Won't be able to relay it to PZ in time. And Drox is now stuck between a rock and a hard place, right in the corner, but he won't be able to fight out of it. And Tux as well, finding everything that he needs to. 2 for him, 2 for Texta, and the deadly, dastardly duo for Mindfreak will be able to keep themselves in the lead. 16-15, Housebets still unable to even have a taste of the lead.
Yeah, it's just like dominoes falling, isn't it, for Housebets? As soon as you see Drox get pushed out of E-Box there and then that swing comes through, Drox survives, but PZ then dies. Then Drox almost dies. He gets saved by Apoc Dud, who ultimately then ends up dying quickly in response as well. And Drox is just still kind of stuck in that corner. So that round almost sort of hinges on whether or not Drox just sits in E-Box with his gun out and maybe gets one or at least like delays a little bit more. Ultimately, he didn't. He backed up, got caught with a nade in hand a couple of times, and that was all she wrote, and it might well be all she wrote for this round as well for Mindfreak, as they're able to get that opening kill. Housebets again, down 4 on 5. We've seen a number of player advantages go the way of Mindfreak in this OT that haven't necessarily been converted, but at least so far things are looking pretty good in OT2. And Texta's going to make them look even better as he finds himself a quick and clean double. Apoc Dud somehow kills Cairo, I think full to 0 it might have been. He was definitely burning for a while, but it's not a huge concern for Mindfreak when they have so many numbers and they can just continue to dump util into this A main position. Apoc Dud dropping. PZ would have to pull up a little bit of a miracle, and they, to be fair, we're kind of giving him a chance there. A couple of 1v1s given over, but the shot won, the duel won by Tux. 17 and 5, and Mindfreak draw a couple of rounds ahead again.
Okay, let's see if they can run it back for a third on the CT side. Everyone wants to know, can Mindfreak keep it clean this time? And do Housebets have to do it again in the hardest way possible? But look, an opening like that may keep all those fans guessing, because Mindfreak, to get a third in a row, I'm going to find it ever so more difficult. Another 1-for-1, PZ falling, but instantly traded. And with Crunchy going down too, this is looking like we're going to go 2-for-1 in the first half of OT2.
Yeah. Well, again, just kind of very much in line with the regulation scoreline. 9-3 first half CT sided, 2-1 in OT CT sided. Although it's not guaranteed just yet. We'll see how Housebets go on this entry into the site. They seem to be doing okay so far. Tux is trying to hold off an army himself, and that is pretty difficult with the AWP in hand. You have to say, Mindfreak have done okay considering they are playing with a sub today. Apoc Dud going to go down.
Yeah.
Surely this can't come together for Tux. What? He's hit the headshot on the damyo as well, and now Drox, so low on HP, is just going to be cowering away behind default. He does not want to take this fight at all, and that 5-7 is a scary, scary prospect. Tux creeping out down the stairs. Timing spotted out by Drox, who's just dancing around, but Tux up on top gets it done, and that's a huge throw from Housebets. A 1v3 that they give over for absolutely no reason. 18-5, that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for this game.
Lord. A generational int, some would say.
I mean, I've watched you play League of Legends, Mac, mate, and even that wasn't that bad.
Look, I just loved giving you anxiety. The game knowledge was growing.
It was.
It got better eventually.
So the worst thing about watching you play League was I think you knew what you were supposed to do, and then you actively chose not to do it anyway.
I was like, yeah, have a look at this now. I'll beat him, but
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's okay to be bad, but to know you're bad and then just decide to run it down anyway makes it even worse.
I loved testing limits. Was the best way to get better, you know? Unfortunately, it cost us a lot of games together. That being said, let's see if Mindfreak can close things out quickly in a 19-15 fashion. Drock's already tagged into 32, and Apoc Dud about to find a few annoyed, aggressive individuals knocking on his door. They want to get this done. Feeling like they probably should have done it earlier in regulation. The creep up close to camera. And that incendiary is going to do nothing. These T's will go straight through it. Flash will actually bait the molly out.
Damyo is still on 29, by the way. He was on 29 with 2 rounds left to go in the first half of OT. So he has been an absolute non-factor in these later OT rounds. Apoc Dud hoping to be a factor, but Tux, I was going to say, on the other hand, has really picked the pace up. He's gone from negative, I think he was about 20 and 22, to now 31 and 23. Well, 24 now puts Texta into the 1v3. That's not going to happen. You can see there's sort of a shift, though, in who's showing up in these high-pressure moments. And Housebets, well, they've won 1 out of 3, but they've still got 2 more to go.
We go again. Housebets. Looking for OT3. They're not looking to win. They're just trying to get that scrim time in, you know? People complain about the lack of practice here in Oceania, especially against teams that obviously, you know, have to play against each other a lot in officials. So why not get the prac in now, huh? Let's just go all the way to 24-24. Run it back not once, but twice on Anubis. And then maybe we'll crown a champion for just map 1. Dust2 after that, which, if you remember back to the other day as well, went very comfortably towards Housebets. So we'll see if that narrative is going to change as well. Or if a 2-0 could be on the cards if Housebets bring this back and destroy the mental and hopes and dreams of Mindfreak here. Ooh, Damyo going aggressive, going to be spotted, walks into the spray, and Cairo won't hang around for any more of a fight. Dumps his util, draws attention as the pressure now starts to come towards middle. 3 players making their way downtown.
Yeah,
this is still going to be the A split.
Nothing to be done in mid. I mean, if it's an A split, this round is over. Smoking for cams, but they saw that that got tossed from the B side of the map. So recognizing that maybe the A side is a little weak here. You know, worst case scenario, you're probably expecting 1 player. In fact, there's none. There's not a single one. And so Tux has been able to take a lot of spacing towards CT spawn. Clear that one now, but he'll lose his live vision. Gives Housebets a chance back into this round. You're exactly right, Mac. Back to 4-on-4 now, and they have the space to make the rotate.
Coming in at heaven, jumps up though. Texta going to be able to find the lineup and maybe even more value for money. Cairo stopping Apoc Dud at the pass, and PZ no chance in the 1v4. They get it done eventually. They get it done the hard way in double OT, but Mindfreak will bring us back to a similar result to the other day. Anubis has been secured.
Yeah, so it might just end up being 4x to kind of take Tux's positions, and then Tux to take the role of Pain and be kind of floating around with the AWP, because you obviously want your AWPer to be mobile. You don't want him to necessarily be set up in one particular position. So I imagine that's probably what it's going to end up looking like. I think 4x is one of those kinds of guys that is actually probably the ultimate sub. You know, we see him as a sub for a lot of teams. He's quite a dynamic player. I think he's going to be familiar in a lot of positions. He's going to be comfortable doing a lot of different roles. As long as he's got a rifle in hand, I think he'll be fine. But it might not even end up being too much of a factor here on the T side. You get to just sort of play a little bit more of a spawn-dependent setup. And Mindfreak happy with their spawns for long, so they're going to be heading out there. 1 flash over the top. It's not going to blind Vision. He was turned away, and he'll peek for a nice double. That's really nice from Vision. A triple kill with the USP to start off this map. He will eventually go for a little bit too much and get banged out by 4x, but that's exactly the start that Housebets are looking for after winning, or rather losing map 1 and seeing Mindfreak struggle a little bit on Dust2 previously. Easy clean up in the pistol for Housebets there, and Hey, it seems like maybe we will be following that same script.
Maybe indeed, but Jordan, I'm just disappointed you didn't rap to the fat beats we got going on. You should have just been, pumping it with the BGM, with the tunes. I don't even want to cast him. I just want to kind of like have the most chilled, laid-back game of Dust 2 we've ever bloody seen. This lovely house. Mindfreak not gonna make it far up at dark, the point where they're parking the car. But you gotta worry about damyo with the MP9 going, Bert, they ain't going to make it under par.
What are you even saying?
I don't know, bro. I was not ready for that.
The words that are coming out of your mouth do not make sense sometimes.
It was a golf reference, right?
I understand golf.
Do you know, have you played golf before?
I know what under par is, bro.
Yep.
Just doesn't make sense.
Your turn. All right, new rounds.
New round, new me.
Elfish guy's chance to...
Elfish guy on the mic!
Lay down the fire.
Here we go into round number 3. It's going to be full of P. Depending on how this game plays out, maybe we're going to be having a good shout. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I've kind of run out of vibes because there's just nothing happening in the round. I feel like we need to see something, and then we can get rolling. I mean, it's just going to be a bit of mid-control taken here by Mindfreak. Also, as to whether or not this round will be full of P, that really just depends on Mindfreak, I think, at this point, because Housebets, they're all set up nicely, but Mindfreak have got a cheeky little buy-in here. Not a whole lot of util. That's a great start from Crunchy. Very good with that first pull of accuracy, and now he's going to try and make his way in towards that B-bomb site. And is this going to be a site to behold? Well, maybe not if you're Forlex. damyo couldn't see anything either, apparently, but Forlex the one to drop. We're back down to 4. damyo blind as a bat. It's all a bit awkward, all over the board. Was that even a CT flash? It might have been.
It was, yeah, just to confirm that one for you. Although, odd position, Texta going to win that one, which gives them a very good opportunity. Vision thinking about going for the knife game, but the spray transfer is that much tastier. $1,200 dues in the bank for the 2K. And it's Crunchy in the 1v2 with no bomb in his grasp. 2 CTs around the corner. A generational little spray transfer is going to be needed, and if anyone has played enough aim trainer, it's this man, but not expecting the swing from behind the box. Drox gets the job done for a third, and Housebets, yeah, look, the prophecy was they were going to run away with this and get straight back into the game, and that prophecy is coming true so far.
Yeah, Vision seems to just be getting away with whatever he wants to on this map at the moment. 3-0 the lead. So Mindfreak are going to have to pull up their socks on Dust 2. Why are they no good on this map? It doesn't really make sense to me. This looks like a team that shouldn't have troubles on a map like this one. Typically, especially with Pain in the outfit, you've got a pretty solid AWPer. You've got a lot of experience there on a player like Tux, who, he's been around forever. Back when Dust 2 was in the map pool originally, and
yeah,
Texta as well. But for whatever reason, this map just does not seem to click for this team, especially in these matches against Housebets. Gonna get a pause. Maybe someone forgot to vote.
Oh, yeah, of course. Got to get on that real quick. Every vote counts, so they say.
Apparently. We've got a bit of a packet loss issue for one of the players here in the server, so we'll just be waiting that one out. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long. Might have to get on the blower with Aussie Broadband, sort it out. Does anyone use anything else in esports? Superloop?
I don't know. That's a great question. The vibes have left us.
All right, fair enough. Time for Mindfreak to lock in, but just pistols and armor. So it might not actually be time. It might be time to just wait one more round.
Yeah, this one's going to be rough with the pistolas. But, oh, the timing couldn't have been better for Mindfreak. Pumping out just as the knife was pulled from Vision. Not a good place to be for him with that weapon in hand. And now it is just going to be them trying to keep the time and going incredibly quick across towards the site. Bullets getting sprayed left, right, and bloody center all the way through that smoke. But it's another 1-for-1 found. And the bomb will go down safe on A. And Housebets deciding how they want to play this on the retake. Look at this top mid flank from Texta on 7 points of health. If he gets another free kill from short, oh, the CT is going to be kicking themselves. And he might just find that.
Yeah, Texta, perfect timing up on the short. One headshot straight onto Drox. Took a little bit longer to get the kill over the line against PZ, but that is the round that Mindfreak are looking for.
Crazy.
Very cheeky. And a round too soon as far as Housebets are concerned, because that is going to put them into some very dangerous economic territory. Someone's been talking about tariffs, this and that. The economy has crashed for Housebets.
Oh.
And all bets are off, actually, at this point, because they are going to have to be tightening the bank account a little bit. We don't have any, extra spending. We don't have any discretionary fund that we can be throwing around here. We're just going to have to take a save. USPs only. Housebets will be allowing Mindfreak back into this map a little bit earlier than they might have anticipated.
All the way up mid, up short, and Housebets with the 5-man stack towards the A site. Noise made on short. Damyo deciding he doesn't want to hang around solo, so we'll see them swing out and look to lock in Forlex, who is going to be stuck at blue. And the CTs realize, we can swing on this. We can play for a gun, which will be found eventually. Cost him 3 lives. And Drox, mate, I'd just be looking to save if I were you. Shooting way too quick for the USB there. Bit of damage onto the T's, but Drox, mate, looking to get out of dodge already. Pints it in, Crunchy, suffocating him right when it was needed. And that is going to be 2 on the board. So Mindfreak doing better than the other day now.
Doing better than the other day. That's the start.
They've
doubled their rounds. They're going to have to be doing a lot better. But you know what? I actually think Forlex is not a bad player to have on a map like Dust2. He's a pretty explosive individual. He could definitely win you 1 or 2 rounds on his own. So already off to a good start himself. 5-5. Was kind of theorizing as to, what Tux's form was going to be looking like coming into this map, because he was doing very well on the backside of Anubis. But
yeah,
0-4 to start, so that's not ideal. But I think we're probably looking more for his impact in the second half here when they get onto the CT side rather than on this T side.
Unfortunate scenes. Looks like a tactical, but it will be a technical. And Housebets will be back with us in... What do you reckon the time it takes to start a PC this... Oh, if that was a full PC restart, he got back real quick. Maybe dipped halfway through the last round. Either way, we're back already. And it should be right as rain to get that by cranking. Looks like they're just having a chit-chat, but we are .ard, all ready to go. Bit of banter, bit of typing. And let's see, Forlex doesn't have the best spawn for Mindfreak, but they might just go towards A anyway. Is this where you'd go, Jordan?
Where's that?
To long? with a spawn like that.
Not if there's a molly in the way. Not the kind of player, really, that would be pushing through a molly, personally. It's just not me.
Yeah, just not you.
Straight down the guts, though, for Mindfreak here in round number 6. Quickly onto short as well. They're going to get out in front of that insend, and Housebets are desperately trying to dump a bit of util, but they are really a little bit too late for that one. There's going to be that late lurk in B as well. They kind of have the B bomb site. Drox caught in transition. Crunchy always handy on the lurk. And Mindfreak really putting together a decent T-side to start things off here in the second map. Vision should be a dead man, will be. Gets one before he falls, but that's not really much of a concern for Mindfreak at this point. They are happy to be trading 1 for 1. Economy will be favoring them pretty dramatically. And so Housebets are just forced once again into a save, this time over toward the B bomb site, and Mindfreak will find their equalizing round.
We are on for a game of Counter-Strike. You love to see it if you're here for a good time. But where to from here, Mindfreak, given the beest of B spawns you've ever seen? Will they take it? Will they commit into a mixed bag from Housebets? I think you do. I think you just believe in the heart of the cards. B-site would have been free here. Drox not aware of where he wants to go, and all they need to do, all Cairo needs to do is peer his little head in towards the B-site there. That's all he's got to do, Jordan. That's all he's got to do.
That's all he's got to do.
He just ain't doing it. They're not going this way. Unfortunate. Things that could have been, huh?
Yeah, not yet. But we have seen a couple of A finishes from Mindfreak, so it wouldn't be too surprising to see them kind of change things up and look toward B. Though the transition is definitely indicating otherwise. Short control is what they're working on at the moment. The flash timing is fantastic, and that's just about going to win the round. Crunchy actually gets a kill through the flash, but that one flash might have just set Housebets up for success. Mindfreak still going to filter their way out onto long, but it's not going to be too easy for them to win this one 3-on-4. With the counter util coming through and a headshot from the Deagle. This was supposed to be a freebie for Mindfreak, and it might go the other direction now.
Furious smoke. Should be bleeding shortly. Disrespected even. Mindfreak just going through. Lovely shot out of PZ, though, to make things that little more awkward. Cairo 1v3 attempt, but ain't going to be able to find it. And that's going to be Housebets off to the lead again. 4-3. And Mindfreak, the economy is there for another full reinvestment. Housebets, it got a little costly, but in the end, with the double AWP setup, mate, they are in a position to succeed.
Well,
how's damyo on the stick?
Not too bad. He actually used to be the primary AWPer at one point for this roster.
Of course.
Not a very long period. He, I think, is probably better suited as a secondary AWPer, but definitely gets the work done. Looks like Tux is starting to come back online as well now that he's got an AWP in hand. That'll be an opener for Mindfreak, and they can really make amends for themselves if they do just pick this round up again. Reset the Housebets' money. Easy. Waiting for the push to come through from Mindfreak, and it looks like Mindfreak do want to kind of bring a little bit of a faster style in to this map. PZ looking over the top of that smoke. Ooh, CT smoke. Toss out here as well. Mindfreak with a nade into the smoke will be able to see PZ. And it seems as though, unless Apoctad does something really special here, they should be getting into the site. They should be making amends for dropping that last round, but I said Mindfreak wanted to pick the pace up. They will actually slow it down a little bit here, and that's wise, as they're able to dig out Apoctad. They take the long control as well. Now they get the bomb plant down. The Drox is hanging around, and he could lose his gun for that. Cairo doesn't seem to have spotted him out. I think Drox has the info that he's in pit. So that will be a kill. Does go the way of the CT side. Drox with this grenade should be picking up Crunchy as well. And a clutch is on. The 2v2 is possible here for Housebets. Well, especially if that shot's going to be missed by Tux. He's out in just no man's land. He's really given Forlex a lot of work to do. That's a clean first shot and a nice tap away on the second. Sharp aim gets the job done this time for Mindfreak. 4-4 will be the score, but that was way too close for comfort.
You'll take it. Keeping us all on the edges of our seats yet again. Let's see where we go to from here. And another tactical going to be used. Housebets realizing, hey, we really need to get our stuff sorted, or the second half could be unkind. You never know what you're going to be gifted with these T spawns all across Dust2. And AZT Live, we do like each other. It just depends on the day. Today we're fighting like a married couple.
What's with all the passive aggression?
Yeah, have we been passive aggressive to each other? I didn't really think we had been.
I mean, you are a bit of a shitter sometimes, so...
Yeah, but you are too, right? Dickhead.
Didn't ask, really, but anyway.
What was that sound?
I think I'm the problem, because people used to say the same thing about me and Ben Green when we used to cast together. They'd say like, oh, do these casters hate each other? It's like, no. I just like being confrontational on the broadcast, because then you have something more interesting to talk about.
It's true, especially on rounds like this, where it is just Eagles and there's nothing interesting that could possibly happen. No chance at an upset with the cheeky Deegs in the mix. Not this time. Nah, 4v5 would never happen.
Oh, you could just go back into the Murloc spec again. That's more what it sounds like.
That's the one. That's the one, mate.
Yeah, these casters are pretty cool today.
I think they're silly. Silly individuals.
Bit of a day setup, though. Doesn't look like Mindfreak are going to be falling into that one. They've already got the B control. So there'll just be the CT cross smoke toss in for Mindfreak that'll just keep Housebets interested.
Plenty of space, big plant. And Housebets... Yeah, look, exits are probably what they're going to look for, if allowed. Vision, not going to be part of the party. Drox, he does have that scout, which can certainly be effective at range, but when the pre-fire is right on your line, you don't really want to be stepping into it. They poke that as well. Ooh. Okay. He's having a red hot crack.
Terrorists win.
All right, let's lock in. Let's see what's going down. Mindfreak are now in a position where if this continues and they somehow find 8 on the T side, the realm of a 2-0 is a discussion we need to start having, because after what we saw from Housebets the other day, you wouldn't have thought that, especially with Mindfreak pulling a stand-in.
I agree.
It's now at the point where, yes, that could certainly happen.
And Forlex is kind of a goat, so that's a bit awkward from Texta. Good trade from Tux. You don't hate it necessarily if you're Mindfreak 1-for-1 at the start of the round on the T side. There are worse things that can happen.
Misthrown smoke from Tux, which might be a nice incentive for Housebets to keep the numbers towards the B site, but we've seen 3 of the Mindfreak members already lurking up short. Progression utility used, unless that's in CT. Can't quite tell from the map. No, it is progression. And PZ respecting it. Staying back towards car, not close enough to hear the jump up or the fall down. And a 3-1 split towards either site should be a good call. No smokes for the mid-B split, so it is going to be the regroup towards upper. And there's a hard crossfire on this B tunnels choke. The call may not be a good one. And damyo on the offline going to be smoking from the gate side. Tuck's already through. Oh, pre-fire no good. And they're going to capitulate.
Yep. Meanwhile, Crunchy on the lurk, but that's very much expected by Housebets at this point. They've seen that trick a couple of times now. 5-5. The CT rounds are starting to stack up for Housebets. I suspect the CT half, in theory, should probably be the harder half. That wasn't really the case on Anubis, contrary to expectations as well. So maybe I'll hold that thought for the moment, but would at least like to see Mindfreak get to 6 here. And a strategy like that one, pushing out through a smoke onto the B-bomb site with no util at all, pretty much, it's not really going to be good enough to topple a team like Housebets.
What a bloody round. And a faster one this time. 2-for-1 already. Mindfreak going for a different approach, and it's out uppers again through a smoke. But this time, after getting that pick towards B ramp, they knew that the B site defenses were thinned. Apoc Doug going to be able to answer with one and stop the split from happening. Cairo falling. Numbers strong for Housebets. 3v2 on the retake, but getting into B can always be a problem.
Can indeed. That molly will buy a little bit more time. Forlex, though, looks like he just wants to get aggressive. The flash, really, really good. Couldn't quite land the extra spray down onto PZ, but he's done some real damage. Tux cops a little bit of a tickle from that grenade. Molly into car, flash over the top. Tux will avoid that one nicely, but he needs a clean first kill, and he'll get that onto Apoc Dud. Oh, as well. Oh, PZ was the freebie. Apoc Dud was the tough task, but Tux did not even take a single point of damage in the 2v1 beyond that grenade. And Mindfreak come away with another nice clutch, and Tux has been really good in these 2v1s today. I think that's the 3rd one that he's won for his team, and if Mindfreak do ultimately go on to win this series, and especially if they win at 2-0, his clutches will have been a big reason why.
Up the waz.
Up the waz.
Up the waz.
Go the Broncos.
Ooh,
Actually.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, come on, man. Queenslander, Queenslander.
Cattle dog. Cattle dog.
And
Bit of a
Forlex
biff towards uppers.
team killed Crunchy.
If you know, you know.
Our international viewers are going to have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but that's why it's a domestic broadcast. You know, it is. I guess it's a Saturday in Europe, so everyone's up and at 'em, enjoying the early hours of the day with some Oceanic CS, of course.
Why would everyone be Adam?
Because they ain't Eve, mate. And it's not even Stevens going down here. It is just going to be 8Ks up against a bit of a mixed bag. Nothing even about it. And even the numbers favouring the worst of the two.
Winnable.
A chance in a field of thorns. But Texta, a man of steel, built like it. Hilo set up to get past another to swing off the contact, but he's been seen. Awkward for him, and there's no getting past that many numbers. Housebets hedging their bets with 6 in the half.
Back on into the second half here, and it's a very even scoreline. So we do find ourselves with a pretty closely pitched battle on Dust2. It's a much better look from Mindfreak this time around. They kind of got dumpstered when we got to see them play it earlier this week against Housebets, and I didn't really feel like that was really a true representation or indication of what Mindfreak can do. I know the results haven't actually been very good from them at all against Housebets on this map, but I still had a bit of faith, and I feel like I'm being rewarded for that. 6-6 the scoreline here. Where do we go from this one, Mac? Do you reckon it is a 2-0? Mindfreak CT side?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be... I think we're seeing a 2-0. I think we're going to get a 2-0. I've locked in. Yep, Mindfreak, they're doing it. They love the CT side. They're very good on it. And... Ooh, I think they're ready for this potential mid-aggression. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Mindfreak just been chilling. Like an ice cream. Crunchy. Potentially pretty aware. Oh, Cairo. Hello. He's just taken a leaf out of Vision's book. Piss around. 3 quick taps on long. Saw that last time around as well. Looks like 2 pistols. 1 for the CTs each. And 7-6 the scoreline. That was a pretty routine pistol round from Mindfreak. They'll love the start to the half. No bomb plan either for Housebets, so not imagining we'll see the buy-in here.
Yeah, we'll see if he gives it a red hot crack. All bought up. M4s for Cairo and Texta. Where are the T's going? They're just chilling. Look how deep they're chilling. Their legs up chilling. They're so far back. Putting the round in the chili bin. On ice. Couple of frosty crackers in there. Cold ones to be had. Bit of grog in the mix, you know. All the goods. Yeah, Jordan, tell us about your day. This is going nowhere.
What did I do today? I went for a run this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice. It was about 22 degrees here at Sunshine Coast. Very, very nice day. Blue skies, beautiful stuff. As Tux has no problems cleaning up Avoctad. So that was my morning. Went for a little bit of a jog. Just a light jog, you know, nothing too fancy. It wasn't a run per se. Came back home. Had a bit of lunch. Bit of a relaxing afternoon. I had a book that I finished off. Was reading most of the afternoon and played a little bit of Enderall. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like a Skyrim mod. It's very good. Recommend it for anyone that's a Elder Scrolls fan. I saw that the Oblivion game, you know, the remake came out, and I thought, I'm just not paying $90 for that. But I do have the RPG bug, you know what I mean? I want to play it. So I decided I'll play Enderall instead, which I've played once before.
What's the difference? What's the mod do?
It just like makes it a new world and new sort of. It's basically a new game in the Skyrim engine. Just think about it like that. But it's very enjoyable if you're a Skyrim fan. Nice. Yeah, that's what I did. And then it was time to cast some CS. And now here we are with the scoreline 8-6. Mindfreak winning that last round, you know, very comfortably. So second half starts off with a bit of a deficit for Housebets.
Big boom. Oh, that's not gone as Texta kind of wanted. Cops a fresh one straight to the teeth. Now we got that 2-2 split for the defense. Crunchy looking to get some info back down B ramp, but commits to the turtle instead. And unfortunately, that means it's going to be a longer rotation for the B site individuals. It'll all depend on how much time the A site players can buy. But with that smoke, oh, it's risky business. And if that smoke gets broken, Forlex could be in trouble. Yeah, he's going to get domed straight through it. Flashes coming through. And so are the T's too. That'll be that. Cairo and Crunchy just looking to save the M4s for sure.
Yeah. Not exactly ideal for Mindfreak. But, you know, you got that little bit of a buffer zone by winning the pistol, so you can't afford to drop this first gun round. It's going to be a real back and forth for this half, I'm sure. Going to have another close finish, maybe even another OT. I did mention the game that we got to see earlier on in this week, it ended up with some, I'd say, reasonably one-sided maps. And that was actually quite contrary to how this matchup had played out throughout the rest of 2025. The maps in general between these two teams have been very, very close, very, very hard fought. Few overtimes in there. So it wouldn't be too surprising to see that sort of regression back to the mean with another series now today being actually really, really close in terms of the maps and the series total. And it seems like we're headed in that direction. So that'll be a 7th for Housebets. Plenty of money, though, in the back pocket for Mindfreak to get a buy through here. Cairo and Crunchy will be able to drop a gun each and then still buy all the util they need. So it will really only be one of these members on the CT side that might have to go, you know, lacking a little bit of util here or there.
Faster approach, long spawns there, as are the flashes, and as is 4lex, but he's going back in. Try of all things, this is not how you do it. Flash comes through eventually, the support was great, but unfortunately the second phase of shots just weren't. But the CT's bringing numbers to the party, and they are still looking to fight for long.
Yeah, everyone was just jumping all over the place there. Very hard for 4lex to hit those shots. He actually ended up going down to Drox mid-air. So maybe a bit of fortune for Housebets in that one as well. That's a great shot from damyo onto Crunchy. Got 3 players set up here for Mindfreak. They are prepared to hold on to long, but Housebets are not prepared to contest it. They have set damyo up to keep an eye on things. That smoke not quite landing where they would have liked it to have. Cairo's going to have to check blue bin, which he'll do a pretty good job of. Now he's got this smoke to play around. Peeking back onto the line, he'll actually get both. The smoke's worked out. It's worked out to perfection, and he does a kickflip as well on the way out. What a sick lad. It's a bit like you, Mac. You used to be a bit of a sick lad, you know.
Yeah, Shaka bra. You all know that like little Korean love heart that people do with their like thumb and their index finger.
Yep.
Everyone, throw them up right now. If you do that, but you say you cross your fingers, your middle finger and your index finger, cross your fingers, and then put your thumb like you're doing a little heart, right? So it's kind of like the heart, but with a finger in the middle. That used to be known as a mini shaka. Like, you know, shakas where you like put your pinky and your thumb out and you go, yeah, shaka bra.
Shaka
like that,
Zula.
but you do this little thing with your 3 fingers. It's like mini shakas and you go, shaka bra.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's, you know, sick lad move. Yep.
Shaka bra.
Circa 2K09 or 2K08 maybe even. Shaka bra. You know, that sort of deal.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done that unironically, by the way.
Oh, alarm just went off. What's going on there?
Yeah, I can hear it. Jesus.
Don't know. Apologies, everyone. Apologies to the audio listeners.
This will be a big round, by the way, Mac. We should probably lock in for this one. I think Housebets need 2. They've got no money. Loss bonus hasn't built up yet. This could be 10 for Mindfreak. In fact, probably 11 if they win it. They have copped a bit of damage onto Crunchy. He's feeling a little worse for wear, but not exactly in a position that's going to hugely impact this round. Over towards the B bomb side at the moment. Hefty offense up toward the A bomb side, both on long and on short. 4lex is fighting hard for his territory. He's actually going to get some backup from the teammates. It looks like they just want to dig out Drox. That molly hasn't quite gone deep enough, so Drox has a chance of getting himself one here. Won't be able to do so. So that is the sacrificial lamb given up for Housebets in their attempt to take the A bomb site. They also lose vision on the way through. That's worked out pretty poorly in the end for Housebets. But PZ creeping back onto the line. Just a whiff with the AK. And Texta will shut him down. It seems that Mindfreak should be getting through this round pretty cleanly. Cairo did not have his nade out. So did not have his gun out. He had a nade out or something. Texta back in onto damyo. Where's the defuse? Incen. I don't know that that's gone deep enough. It looks like, at least on the minimap, it hasn't actually hit the bomb, so... Oh dear, shots missed. Tux can defuse still. He's got the defuse kit. I think he's going to be okay here. Oh, it was just way too close for comfort for Mindfreak, but they do get the round, and that's what's important, because Housebets don't have that much money.
Oh, I didn't know that Apoc had it in him. That was almost the ace. Target priority as well on the swing was beautiful. Denied the defuse, but just couldn't get the extra man after the whiffed opportunity. And yeah, that incend, it's such a hard one to throw if you're not going up the stairs. You really need to sort of practice that lineup. Otherwise, you're never going to be getting that one landing on the package. Unfortunate scenes for Housebets. Could have been a miracle in the making, and APOC Dud going to be the sole man with a hero AK, just buying around a couple of upgraded pistolas, and it's going to be all in on B, but with the full long control. Mindfreak, they've already cheated the man towards CT. That's going to be a faster rotation to the B site, and Cairo tucked in at car. He's going to have to do this the hard way, but the lineup makes it too easy for him. 3 for him, and his job's done, and so's the bloody round. 11 on the board, and Mindfreak 2 rounds away from making this a 2-0 and getting a shot at the title and at the Rooster.
This is going to take some pulling back, that is for sure. That gap has grown to 4. Mindfreak have a fairly healthy looking economy as well. And Housebets just not hitting the same at the moment. So must-win round for Housebets, as again, the money is more or less depleted. They've got 3.4k as the loss bonus, but that's not going to get them a great buy next round. Not as good as what they've got here. Almost has to be now or never. Crunchy. That was a nice flick. He got the headshot onto damyo, but unable to find the kill. He only had an M4. So we'll go down early on in this round. Mindfreak off to a rougher start.
Action-packed towards the end of this map, and Housebets, they are looking to convert this 5v4. 3 players. Oh, going with the slow peek out into that after spotting it. Forlex. He used to love a good re-peek, and this time Tux is going to do it that bit better, and with an AWP of all things, brings it back to the 3v3. And in the meanwhile, damyo on 10 points of health has gone out on B, drawn the rotations. Bomb's actually coming this way, but the CT should beat the bomb. Oh, I have no idea how this one's going to play out. Okay, Vision has heard the rotation. He's called the bomb back to A, but again, because it's gone to T-spawn already, it's a long way for it to go. And the CTs, they're going to get to CT in time. APOC Dud at least has the smoke for the cross, which he'll have to throw on the run. Vision, if he falls, it'll go down to a 2v1, but the last man has been heard going to CT. And Vision making his way up short, the molly down as well. We'll tag up Texta, we'll take the one-on-one if he's given it, but no, he beats it. He catches the timing, and APOC Dud, he's up on site. Oh, Texta may just win this. Cover from short, not the best place to be, but the info's now there, and Vision, it's a win both ways, but Vision gets it that better. Oh, that was tough to watch.
Yeah, I honestly think Texta, if he resets that spray, he wins that fight. But
yeah,
you know, he doesn't want to make that decision in the spray battle. Very, very, very close. But Housebets are hanging in there. I thought as soon as Texta got that kill so cleanly, he's going to win that duel.
Yeah, it looked good. Vision, the spray control, wrangled back through the box eventually. And a tactical going to be used off the back of that, because Housebets will need a few more rounds to convince us that they want this comeback to happen. At least this round in particular should, on paper, be easier. It's just that MP9 and a couple of upgraded pistols. Well, Crunchy will go for the scout there. Toss it across. Or has he sold it? Oh, he sold it for the Kev Deeg combo instead. And it didn't last long.
No.
Nice try, I guess.
What's Tux
almost made
get
it
up
through
to?
the doors.
Oh, they're making footsteps. They're going to be heard.
No, they flashed forward. It's a play. It's a nice little set play. Forlex. Big banger. But the T's were ready, or at least Trox was. Not quite for the second man. And that's going to be a gun now retrievable.
It's Cairo's time. Here we go. Let's see what he can do. Holding on to that 5-7 close range. Pop a couple of heads. Would be nice. Not going to happen this time around as damyo will get the entry. And that'll probably be the round done and dusted. There was that fast flank coming through. If Cairo could have held them up, got a kill or two, it might have been something in this round. But from here, surely nothing. And that is now the gap starting to close again. 2 rounds the difference. Housebets are fighting for their lives in the ESL Challenger League Season 49.
Okay. Getting closer and closer by the round. Boost up again. PZ will spot one on the cross, but definitely not three. And it's a bit more noise going to be made towards long this time as well, but Mindfreak will have it. Corner smoke to deny vision, and that will be respected by Mindfreak, but the mid smoke won't be. Damyo giving up his life for free. And this could be that 12th round that Mindfreak have been hunting for. Oh, vision. Thinking about misking it through the smoke, but he'll hear that reload. Oh, game sense. Beautiful timing.
Yeah, I was really expecting that maybe there was just going to be a flash tossed in for him. That would have probably had the same effect, but Vision just gets it done alone. Crunchy, the mortal sin of firing pretty much his entire clip with the A1S. And that is going to allow Housebets up to short here as well. A rotate did come in toward middle. There's nobody on the A-bomb side to hold this at all. Texta is going to try and find a timing through the smoke of his own. He was trying to jump up the trash pile.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Here's Tux, the A1S in hand. Getting himself the kill on a PZ. Trade in from Drox, but he'll fall to Texta. And numbers up there right now for the moment. And Cairo maintains that. It's APOC done. Stuck at Gandalf. Surely he is done here. The double swing should be coming through from the CTs, and it will. And that'll be Mindfreak to put themselves one round away from victory in this series.
They are doing it. Round after round, and even after some lovely little equalizers. It's just constantly looking harder and harder, and the T's just are not trading like we saw from Housebets the other day. Just in odd positions, caught on weird lines. Mindfreak playing a little bit more loosey-goosey. Maybe it's because they have the sub there, thinking, yeah, all right, let's just let ourselves off the leash and see what happens. And, well, it's looking good enough here on D2. Crunchy, let's see if he's learnt his lesson if he gets left alone back at mid. But he'll be centered it towards B instead this time. Bomb, still outside long doors, trying to figure out where it wants to go for Housebets. And the T's just wanting to make sure they don't give up any picks for free this time. Or else elimination may be on the other side of this round.
Yeah, most definitely. They're still holding on to a decent portion of their util here, Housebets, as we enter the mid-round. Trying to give PZ a bit of time to work with the AWP, but time is going to be running down. Mindfreak not feeling like they need to be doing too much at the moment. Set up on some nice lines. Tux watching short. You got Forlex, a fairly aggressive position on long, not seeing anything through the bedroom doors, and he's going to start to make his move now, which is unraveling the puzzle a little bit. So Mindfreak going to start to set up their defenses elsewhere. Double swing into mid. It's going to work out quite nicely. 2 for 2. And at the top of mid, Forlex has managed to make his wrap all the way around behind and grab one more. It's just Cairo at the back of sight here. He's going to have to pick his timing nicely. Has been spotted out. Oh, he holds the spray. And Drox just went straight into it. That is unfortunate. It leaves Vision alone. And Forlex on the line with the AWP. The super sub is going to get it done. Mindfreak find the 2-0 tonight, and they book their ticket into that grand final against Rooster. That match will be tomorrow. It's a best of 5, but they take revenge for the loss that they had earlier on in this bracket against Housebets, and they do it quite